This has been long overdue for a long time. So this area is large, but it's just not large enough for the F-250. I could get it in here if I have to, but it's crammed and it wouldn't be very comfortable. Turns out that the lift, while it works really good over here, it does take up some space. And to show you just how big that F-250 is, this is a Yukon XL and it fits in here just fine. It can go on the lift, no problem. But the F-250 is a different beast. So we're gonna have to work on it on the other side of the shop. This is what I got the bigger shop for options. So I'll be able to open up all 4 doors over there and do whatever I need to do. It's just a little bit more of a walk, and you know, I could use the steps, so I don't mind. So let's head over there to the other side and see what we're working with. Yep. If you watched the last video, we busted a hole in the wall. Now we got this extra special spot over here on this side. Yeah, we're doing it though. Very cool. Yes, sir. Here we go.
Turn the bass up and the road noise down with Damplifier from Second Skin Audio. Damplifier kills structural noise by damping the vibration energy of your car's metal. Stop the vibrations, stop the noise.
I've been meaning to make some of these changes for a long time. I just haven't been able to get around to it. I always say this, I always make this disclaimer. The shop gets real busy in between some of these videos, and before you know it, things get swept under the rug and they never get done. And the system in there sounds good, so I wasn't in a big hurry to change it out. But now we're gonna upgrade some power, make it a little stronger, a little bit more slap. Let's see what's all in here now. In case you forgot, many years ago we did this system. We got the Gately audio box. We got the 6 B2 audio, 6.5s. We got the audio control DM810 processor, optical in. We got the old school SMD split block. We're gonna change that for a more modern one, but of course there's nothing wrong with it. The wires are all super tight still to this day. B2 audio reference 4 channel. And nothing over here really, but you can see everything's nice and organized. Still looking good, still playing good. And that's one of the original boxes. I know that he's upgraded them several times. They're probably on version 20, and that might be version 3. So even the box that I want to put in here is outdated. It's probably version 10 out of like 20 or more. But I've been wanting to put it in for a long time, so we're gonna put it in. We're gonna ride around, we're gonna bump it for a while, and then we're gonna replace the box again with another Gately box, an even better one, a newer version that has more support on the sides, a better way to mount it in place. They've evolved so much since these boxes were first built. I'm pretty sure we gotta do a little seat lift, then we'll be brand new again. And of course, depending on how much power I decide to put in here, we're gonna have to upgrade the alternator and some of the power wires as well. And we still got the B2 audio, 2500.1, and of course we can't forget the SMD QR1's still working great after all these years. This one we actually put the cup in the car and put the plug on the box with a little pigtail so the box can come out, and boom, you're back in business again. So as we take this stuff out and replace them with some different amps, it's not like there's anything wrong with these amps kicked ass for many years, and they still will continue to kick ass in another ride. It's just we're ready for a little bit more power now and a couple little changes. We're going to keep the B2 audio subs, and of course it's got B2 audio reference 3-way highs in the front. Seriously, there's something to be said for a car audio brand when you put the system in your ride and 6, 7, 8 years later you want to change to something else, but you really don't have to because it's all still working. It's not giving me any problems. So props to B2 Audio for having a solid product. Everything's still playing all these years later.
Gelato, you dig?
as you can see, it's all playing nice. But we want a little bit more power. We want to bump that shit just a little bit harder. It still sounds lovely, no complaints here. See if we can hear this over my camera phone. If you're new to my channel, you might be wondering, why would somebody want a Neo magnet terminal cup like that? I'm about to show you why. If you've got a large system in your vehicle and your box is built in, you don't need these. But for people that want to pull their box out for one reason or another, for any reason, strollers, golf clubs, whatever, that's what it's good for. But in our case, I just unhooked it. Look at that. So everything looks like it's in perfect condition after all these years. B2 Audio logo's rubbing off on a couple of them a little bit. No big deal, the dust caps are still around. Boxes could have touched them. I don't think any feet have touched them, but if they did, it didn't hurt them. But things are in the back seat on the floor moving around. Grills are always a good idea, but we did all right. Let the B2 Audio 6.5s are out. All I got left to do is go in there and start pulling the old amps out. Bring the new box in. Actually, I need to bring it down and see what the impedance is on it. I forgot, it's been a while. And then I'll decide which amps are actually going to push them. Oh yeah. Yep, 4 B2 Audio 8s. These subs absolutely shred in this Gately audio box. It's a long time coming putting these in, I know, but at least we're doing it. I'm gonna have to get the forklift, bring this pallet down. I am up in the air right now. Okay, that thing is out. Of course, we're gonna pull this amp rack out. Don't really want to, but it's time. I mean, this thing was never really terribly complicated anyways. We're talking about a 4-channel and a monoblock on the subs. So while I'm unbolting this, let me tell you a couple things about this amp. I love it. I think it sounded great and no disappointment at all. But there's a couple things that are annoying. And one of them is I need 3 different Allen wrenches to undo these wires. It's not really B2 Audio's fault, but the other thing is they're aimed downwards. So when this was in there, there's like zero troubleshooting that I could do at all. There's buttons, there's wires, there's RCAs, everything's on the bottom. And it has nothing to do with B2 Audio, it has everything to do with my install. But that was pretty annoying. Other than that, this thing sounded great and still sounds good as I take it out. This thing is a work of art. I don't think they make these anymore. I'm pretty sure they don't. I don't know, but damn. One of the other things that used to bug me a little bit about this system is the mismatch. I like my system to kind of have matching things, but I really wanted that reference 4 in there. Trusty snap-on died. Had to switch over to the Milwaukee. Should have done that a long time ago. The system is out officially. So we're left with a nice clean slate. The only thing I left in here was the original 1/0 cable, positive and negative. We got the speaker wires that go to the front doors that are still in there, the B2 Audio reference 3-ways, and optical cable coming from up front, and a little remote. Other than that, we got a clean slate to start with. I'm really not planning on going nutty with this thing. 5,000 watts on the subs, maybe a little bit more, and a nice clean mids and high amp. This is actually my wife's truck. I built it for her, and I want her to enjoy it. It does not need to be a bass machine, but she does love her beats. And if you want to see what I do, stay tuned, and yeah, we'll eventually get her done. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but we'll get her done. And with that, I'm out. All right, we got that done. We got the system all the way out, except the mids and highs, of course. They're going to stay. Since I know people are going to ask me about the mids and highs, I have another set here just to show you. Essentially, this is what's in it right now. Set of B2 Audio reference. Now, this thing did sound good and it didn't hardly give me any trouble, but there was from time to time an intermittent. It would sound like the tweeter may not have been on, or something might have been going in and out. And it wasn't very often, but sometimes you would hear something that wasn't right, and I guess it would fix itself so you wouldn't think about it again. So we're going to take a look at that real quick while we got this truck pulled apart and see what is going on with that. Maybe it's nothing, maybe it's all in my head, I don't know, but wouldn't be a bad idea to check on this stuff anyways. I haven't seen these door pods since we put them in, so hopefully everything's intact and it's not rusty or gross or anything like that. Lots of plugs and stuff back here. You guys can't really see them right now because the camera's over there, but there's 5 or 6. And then the door latch. So other than being a little bit dusty, everything's in perfect condition. Off camera, I pulled these apart and took a look at the wiring behind. Everything looks perfect still. The wiring on the terminal on this 3 was a little loose, and that's probably the intermittent sound I was hearing. So now it's all tightened up and everything should be good again. Just gotta put the door panel back on and jump back to the back where we were. And just like that, through the magic of editing, that's done. It's always some little bullshit that shows up right in the middle of your build and you gotta like address it. So I just remembered that that thing was like going in and out, and it hasn't done it in a little while, but might as well fix it while I'm here, while I have this all pulled apart. And yeah, I think I found the problem, and back to the back of the truck we go. Time to pull this back panel off and see what I'm up against. I think we're gonna pull all this off this time, down to the bare metal, rather than the 2 steel brackets that I had mounted to those bolts for support before. It'll give me a little bit more room to do what I want to do. I'm not going to go crazy, but it'll be a lot more stable. And thanks to some guidance from the bros over at Gately Audio, who have done literally a ton of these trucks, I know what's behind there. I should be good to go. I just got to start pulling at it and get it out, and we'll put a board or we'll put something across it to hold the new amplifiers. This thing really shouldn't take that long to get back to normal again. This build isn't going to be anything out of control. We're talking about a bass amp and a 4-channel, and just make it look nice, run the wiring nice and proper, put a little bit bigger of an alternator in here to support it, and that's about it. We just want it to sound good and bang pretty hard, and that's what it's going to do. Now that that's all done, it's time to start thinking about this. In case I didn't mention it, these are the amps that we're running. 5,000.1 on the subs, 300.4 on the highs. I definitely don't just want to screw these things to the back wall behind the seat. I want to make something a lot more sturdier than that. Although that would work, it would just be it's not a great idea. All right, I guess this is as good of a place as any to get started. This is probably gonna have to be out of the way, I think. Look at that. Alright, so what we have here is a lot of bare metal. We got some carpet that's kind of glued on here. We'll pull that off and do some real sound deadening. Looks like there's some factory sound deadening over there. Or some sort of a heat shield maybe, I don't know. That's where the factory radio is, the factory amp I should say. We got some air vents, some flappers here, some flappers over there. Those are getting covered up. We're gonna put some second skin on a bunch of this stuff. We're gonna delete these dumb hooks at the top. Now technically I could probably just sound deaden right over the top of these and be good, but the fact that they stick out messes with my amp rack a little bit. So we'll just take them out and I'll laser cut a piece of sheet metal to go over this and seal it up and then second skin over the top of it. It's slightly more proper that way anyways, even though either way it'll probably work great. One of the things I definitely want to do is remove this carpet stuff that's just glued on there. I don't know what that's all about. Well, it looks like it's got some butyl, some kind of sound deadening, but why did it have to be carpet? I guess I don't know why. That's out of here. Got my handy little radius finder here. And after going through all those, it looks like 1 inch radius is about what it's supposed to be. And this is why I never throw anything away. Not till it's gone. Oh, that tank's empty. Can't use that nozzle, gotta use this one. I think that's gonna do it. So those things worked out very well, as you can see. All that work for something that's gonna get covered up in second skin sound dampener. But you know what? Gotta do it right even when no one's looking. 20 years from now, if someone pulls this apart, I want them to say, all right, that guy knew what he was doing. So what used to be these little flappers is now that, nice and solid. Of course, I know that these are in there for a reason, but when you got a big system in your ride, and this thing isn't even that big, but if you got any kind of reasonable bass in your car, these things will flap. And you're looking around in the back and you're like, what is making all that noise? You can never tell what's making all that noise. Usually it's gonna be these things. All these things do is flap and make noise every time the bass hits. And I've always covered these up in every car I've ever had. So those are officially deleted. On to the next phase. Phase 3, while I try to figure out how to mount the amps to this wall. I've already got an idea. you can see, you got plenty of mounting points now. About 8 on the top, 8 on the bottom. Before I put the actual bars in, we're gonna put a little bit of second skin on that back wall.
Turn the bass up and the road noise down with Damplifier from Second Skin Audio. Damplifier kills structural noise by damping the vibration energy of your car's metal. Stop the vibrations, stop the noise.
Alright, this is not always necessary, but it is a little chilly out. So any kind of help from the sun, soften it up a little bit for the tight contours. Usually it's on time first, then we can do this left on the pieces. I don't get it. Alright, 2 layers of Second Skin Damp Pro. Got that finished. Now we can put the bars on. Just need to mount the amps. A little drill, a little tap, some nice little fasteners. And these things are going to be in. Little tap for some 1024s. Nice, nice. Not a bad little amp rack. Alright, that piece is done. I just got this right here to go behind the factory amp, because as you can see, the legs are hanging off a little bit. So we got a piece of aluminum that's going to go over the top, bolt onto the bars, and give it 4 mounting points. I have all the holes marked on the cardboard. I would have cut them with the laser, but I don't know exactly where they're at on that bar. I use the cardboard to find out, and we'll just transfer that right on over. Okay, so now we got the 4 mounting holes for the amp. 2 at the bottom have their own riv nuts. 2 at the top are going through the aluminum. Factory amp has a nice place to mount to. Now it's got bottom feet. Before it was just on the bars. Now it's all 4, we're good to go. Amps are mounted. Got some aluminum in between them, so I have a place to put the processor. I would say we're getting pretty close. Be wiring up real soon. All right, we got all the amps mounted. The processor isn't mounted yet. I'm probably gonna have to move it down a little bit because that thing for the window is gonna drop down some, but I just wanted to see what it's gonna look like over in that area. So stay tuned. I got an alternator, I got some wiring to do, and it shouldn't be too long before all this stuff is lit up. And with that, I'm out. $5,000.1 on the subs, 300.4 on the highs. So with those 4 little holes drilled, I'll know I'll be able to get the larger hole saw in the right spot so they're not too close to each other. They're just right. Yep. Looks like I found my way in. I got an alternator sitting over there and a bunch of wire on order, some 2-aught from Sky High to get from the front to the back. I've already got one 1-aught from the front to the back from the previous system, but I got a lot more because I'm doubling the power. But it's not going to be here till Tuesday. There's some snow in the mountains and it just isn't going to get here fast enough. So I guess I can wire this amp rack up as much as possible. Pretty boring watching all the wiring. So we'll just go straight time lapse.
bass up and the road noise down with Damplifier from Second Skin Audio. Damplifier kills structural noise by damping the vibration energy of your car's metal. Damplifier Pro is 2 millimeters thick and engineered for top-of-the-line performance. Damplifier is cut to fit. Use it on any interior metal surface of your car, doors, floor, trunk, roof, hood, or the firewall. All to keep your sound in and the road noise out. All made in the US of A, baby.
So this cable came out pretty nice, like they always do. But this one came out of the truck after I'd already put the ferrule in the amp. I brought it out specifically to show what happens when you use a ferrule inside of an amp. So it looks really nice, right? Nice and clean, brand new. Once you hit it with that set pin, look at that. It's totally okay to not use ferrules. Those terminals are designed for stranded wire, but you can't deny how nice ferrules are. That is not coming out of there. I'll go ahead and pop this thing right back where it was. Should go right back into that little indent that it made. Here. Some 10 gauge OFC for the sub box. I'm not a big fan of the green wires. Nothing in there is green, so even though I don't really have to because it's got a little sleeve over it already, we're gonna put a little heat shrink on those. And now you can see why there's standoffs on this DSP, because those big fat wires need to pass behind it. I originally wasn't going to have it this far out, but the wires are bigger than I anticipated, even though I've seen them a million times. So I hooked these wires up real quick, the existing ones, just to make sure everything's working, and it is. All we got left is you got to bring up 4 2/0s from the front, reconnect them up in here. A little bit of blue 2/0, a little bit of black 2/0. Hey, when I do something dumb, and then I go, don't do that again, and I do it again. Okay, good. You know you've got a solid crimp when this thing feels solid 3/4 of an inch past the ring terminal. That'll do it. We're good. I'm literally a set of RCAs away from this thing firing up. I can't turn them on because I'm a couple of RCA plugs short, but I can light them up. Oh yeah. Look at that. Now the LEDs, they're looking good and everything, but 99.999% of the time the seats are going to be covering it, so it's really no need, unless you're showing it a little bit, just turn them off. There we go. Amps are still on, LEDs are off, good to go. Normally I start from the front and work my way towards the back, but this time, since I didn't have my power wire yet, I started in the back and I'm working my way towards the front. So all this stuff is done. I'm a couple of RCA ends short of actually hearing it playing, but I did patch it over and I know that it does work.
But the real beauty come from within. I swear I spin. If I could do it over again, I probably wouldn't want it to end.
But we're gonna finish up that wiring before these seats go back in. And I got an alternator and a front fuse block, and this thing is on the road, ready to bump. And yeah, with that, I'm out of here. I flipped this box up on its side so you can see the woofers moving because it's so hard to see them from the front. We'll turn it back down, just want to make sure it's all working properly. Positive and negative 2 watts are ran, frame grounds are done, engine grounds are done, everything's underneath the hood ready to go, but I don't want to pull that apart until I get all this bank stuff that I got coming. I got the hot pipe, I got the cold pipe, and the intake on the way, so all that's going to happen along with the alternator. But in the meantime, the RCAs showed up. So let's get this plugged in and maybe pull some subwoofers down, get this thing playing. There's already a positive and negative 1/0 from the original system that I left in the system. So this thing will play. It'll just be minus a couple of positive and negative cables, but it will play. If you watched Anthony's build, the Yukon, you saw I used the Resonix RCAs, and I'll never go back to anything else. Listen, I don't get paid for this. This is not a paid endorsement. I bought these things. Nothing's coming my way. It's just a quality product, and when I know a good product, I'll share it with you. If you haven't seen this, wait till you see this. I literally need maybe a 9-inch RCA for there, and on this side I need to put some ends because it's already ready to go. All I gotta do, and this thing should be playing, and it's gonna happen within minutes because these things are so nice. They're so fast. So what we have here is a little tool to make nice straight cuts, which is pretty essential. Some really nice RCA cable. Last time I ordered these, I didn't get any of these. This is a real nice touch. I like that. So it looks like you can change the colors. Normally I could make these on the spot inside the vehicle that fast, but I'm making it on the table to kind of show you guys what they look like. So take these cutters, cut you a nice little straight little You can actually feel that engaging when it hits the sweet spot. That's literally like a minute for these two ends right here, and it would have been done already if I wasn't filming for YouTube. Let's head in there and finish the job. Now some might say these wires are actually kind of stiff, but I kind of like that about them. They're still plenty flexible enough to do anything you want to do with them, and they kind of hold their form a little bit when you're trying to do things. Dude, the hardest part about this job for me is going to be seeing the screws in this dark cabin. I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. That one's ready. Tighten those up. I mean, these are literally already done. Right in front of your eyes. And again, this is not a paid endorsement. I get nothing for this. I just really like these things, and I just want to let you guys know what I'm using. And yeah, you can't really go wrong, I don't think. In case you're new to my channel and you're wondering what this thing right here is, you're about to find out real soon. Pretty cool. Time to put this beat pillar back together. All right, here we got the speaker wires coming off of the 5000.1. Put them right here on this. So this is just a speaker box terminal cup. It's a QR one. It's really nice. But instead of putting the cup in the box, we put the cup in the B pillar and we put the plug on the box. So this is basically like a speaker outlet inside the vehicle. Yeah, I believe that's just about time to put the seats in. Everything's hooked up. Everything's proper. RCAs are done. Power, ground, remote, obviously. But one thing I want to discuss before the seats go in, and you probably saw these throughout the other videos, is this seat lift kit. In order to get the 8s in here, you got to raise the seat up. So I've actually got one of the original protos from Bobby Gately back in the day when he first started doing these. I had it at the shop. I don't know if any changes have been made to them since they did them, but yeah. These things are so nice. It doesn't matter if you're using a Gately box or somebody else's box. If you need a lift for any reason, this is the way to go. Probably some of the best I've seen right here. We got one here, here, and here. One of the real nice things about them is you can take the whole thing out and get the seat in there and then put this back in if you want to. That helps me out a lot because I have amps in the way. They're pretty close. Shout out to Gately Audio. It's a badass design. I love it. As you can see, we got tons of clearance. It's like it was meant to be almost. Seats are in. Yeah. Let's see what this lift looks like. It's noticeably higher, but ain't nothing we can't really deal with. Probably don't want to have an NBA star back here, but should be all right. All right, everything came out really good. It's all playing right now. I got signal coming out of that sub wire, which only means one thing. We need subs. Let's grab them. Let's put them in. We'll have this thing bumping in a matter of minutes. Hey, yo. Hey, if you get a minute, man, grab me that box. Yeah. You're out. And I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. Yeah. So the box is bigger than the other one, obviously. There's 4/8 compared to the 6.5. But it's not noticeable. It's a little bit noticeable because it's a 2-inch seat lift, but it's not that bad. And look what you get out of the deal. Let's plug in that Neo magnet terminal cup and see if the subs are even moving right now. I mean, we haven't even gotten to that part yet. All right, here's the moment of truth. Let's turn this bad boy on. We got lights. Let's make them red before we do this for good luck. Okay.
As long as they can. Many times
I hear sounds.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan.
John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan.
Are on a mission to make sure.
Money over
Ooh, listen to those doors.
Duckers. Where I'm from, we learn to get the work before they touch us. Sherbet in the diamond got me coughing like pertussis. Baseline a swipe, game time, I'm getting buckets. Dro dragon, what it don't bad with thrash swagger. Fred Lambo when I blow past.
Turn it down a little bit. All right, let's hook the beat up. All right, here we go.
Suckers over money, suckers, duckers. Where I'm from, we learn to
Woo! Look at that. Took it right out of my hand. Oh yeah, we're bumping. I flipped this box up on its side so you can see the woofers moving because it's so hard to see them from the front. We'll turn it back down. Just want to make sure it's all working properly. These gains are not set. We're just playing around a little bit and they're barely cracked. So make sure everything's functioning. Alright, let's see if we can get these things moving a little bit more.
Running like AP. All day, all day. Running like AP. All day, all day, all day.
Yeah, alright.
These niggas is crazy.
Nice. So it looks like everything's playing really good. I haven't done much of anything as far as tuning. I did go into the DSP and quickly set the crossovers and make sure they were crossing over. No gains are set, they're barely cracked, just so I can actually hear sound coming out. Those will be dialed in real soon, and I can't wait to hear what this thing's gonna sound like once I do that. Also, even though I ran all that wire, right now, it's only being powered by one 1-aught positive and one 1-aught negative. I have two 2-aught positives and two 2-aught negatives underneath the hood, coiled up right where the fuse block is gonna go. I'm not ready to do that yet because I got a couple of things coming from Banks that I want to install first while I'm tearing this all apart. And of course I got to do the alternator as well. So I'm going to pull all this apart, alternator, hot, cold pipes, intake, and mount my fuse block, and this project will be done. But for right now, it's all playing, it's all bumping, and I'm really happy with it. When this is all said and done, it's all finished, I'll do a nice long walk around and show you guys everything. But right now, I'm out of here. So here we are on to one of the final portions of this build. A lot of people were asking me about fusing, why there's no fuses in the back. Well, that's because there's going to be a nice fuse block in the front. There already is the older one from the original install, but there's going to be a newer one up here, and those are going to be at the batteries. So really, if there's no batteries in the back, fuses aren't super necessary to be back there. If I add any lithium batteries or anything in that area later, I will put a fuse on those in the back. Right now we got two Group 65 excess power D6500s up front, and that should be good enough for this system with the high output alternator that we're getting ready to put in. I got a bunch of 0 gauge cable over here that's going to the new fuse block, and the reason that block isn't in here yet is because I have some other things that are going in that I don't know what kind of spacing I'm going to have as soon as that's all done, which I'm about to show you guys right now. And yeah, let's get this thing started and let's finish up this project. So today's project, the long-awaited, well, not very long-awaited, it only took a couple days to get here, but we got the new intake and we got hot and cold pipes for the turbo. Of course, I've been waiting for the longest time to open this up. I'm just not at that point yet, but now we're here, and this is our high output alternator from MechMan. I wanted to do all this at the same time so I don't have to pull it apart, put it together, and then pull it apart again. And yes, I know, I'm well aware the engine bay is dirty. We drive these vehicles, they get dirty, they get used, and it's all gonna get shined up and look brand new again by the time this is all over with. Let's do some good old-fashioned box opening. Where's my steak knife? See, now here's the new problem with the new shop. If I need something like a screwdriver or a wrench or a steak knife to open those boxes, I gotta walk all the way over to get them. 10,800 square feet, but getting my steps in is a good thing. Let's go find that steak knife. Gotta rub these executive doors. Yeah. We got some electrical happening. Look at that, all that just for a steak knife. All right. We'll start out with this alternator from MechMan. Look at this thing. One thing I love about what I do here at the shop is I got my hands in just about everything. As I look at this beautiful box and I see the laser work that we did here at the shop, like I designed this logo for them years ago, and I'm the one that laser etches it. The pulley and the outside. We've got a triple alternator bracket. We cut those here at the shop. This is great. MechMan for the win. My favorite brand. Unfortunately, not that it matters too much, but these ones don't come in any special color. You can get them done, But where it's going to be buried way down in there, I don't really need a special color. But as you can see, $393. Can't go wrong with that. Typically, if I was doing this, making a video with these products, I would give them each their own video because they deserve their own video. But since I have to kind of do all this at the same time and not tear it apart twice, we're going to do it all right now. This Gail Banks signature right here looks so real. I thought I actually had an autograph from Gail Banks. Yeah, I found the same autograph up on this one too. And I forensically found out that it's printed on the box, but hey, it looks pretty good. Felt good for a minute. Ooh. Oh boy, look at this. We should take all these out first. Ooh, would you look at that? Let's see this thing. Let's check this out. So it's safe to say that we got a really nice goodie table sitting here. McMahon alternator, Banks intake, and we got the boost tube kit. Now that boost tube kit is not just for looks. These trucks are notorious, at least on the cold side, for that rubber hose breaking and cracking. And sometimes even when it's not cracked, it's still gonna lose boost because it loses its rigidity on the inside. And I've gone through about 3 of those on this truck since we've owned it. But that's gonna be a thing of the past with the new metal one. I know this because I've already got another brand in there for the cold side, and it made all the difference in the world. You never have to change it again because it's not gonna break. But I wanted the matching hot side, so I figured I would get all Banks. So we're gonna have a Banks cold and a Banks hot and be good to go. Plus, I can already tell holding this in my hand that it's better than the blue one that's in there. It feels better anyways. It might be bigger too. And this is definitely a time-lapse type of situation because there's so much little reaching in and things that are gonna take me extra time to do. So let's get that going right now. So the first thing I need to do is pop a clip way back in there behind that and a couple hose clamps to take that hot pipe off. But there is something new in here that I didn't really talk about. I'll flash back to that real quick so you know what that is and why we did it. Yeah, we got a little bonus while the hood's still up. Got Wyatt with 4-wheel outfitters.
Yes, sir.
What are we doing here?
We're taking out this plastic upper fuel filter because they crack and they spray diesel right towards your turbo, and we're gonna put in this nice, beautiful, fully billet upper fuel filter with all fittings, quick connect, and better filtration for your truck.
Let's see that thing. Sick as hell. Yeah. And why is it important to change this out?
So that way your truck doesn't burn to the ground.
Oh yeah?
So we don't.
Why would it burn to the ground?
So these plastic ones, they're molded and they're like welded, plastic welded together, and they spray fuel right towards your turbo, which sits right under there. And you know, nobody wants to catch fire because the diesel's gonna catch fire. So
cool.
Yeah, we're gonna pop that thing in there and you're gonna be all set.
So that's a real simple fix, right?
Yep, and anybody can do it. It's just all quick connects. Sometimes they fight you a little bit, but I mean, they will just pop right off. This one's gonna fight me a lot of it, apparently. There's your old one, full plastic. And you can see like even this edge is where they usually start spewing out. Just they are not put together very well. This guy right in here. And then it's got an O-ring on this, or on the billet, so it's just gonna sit right in your factory cup. You push it down a little bit. Put all your fittings back on.
Just like that?
Yeah, just like that. And then we're gonna prime the truck like, let's say 5 or so times just to make sure we got all the air out of the system, and then fire her on up.
like that. Not at all, man. Thank you.
Perfect, not a problem.
So anyways, good looking out on that. 4-wheel outfitters. All right, let's get to pulling this apart. So this is what was in it, and this is what's going in it. We got the factory hot pipe over here. This thing could easily fit all the way inside of that. And I've got the blue Sinister that I put in a while back because, let's face it, no matter what brand you upgrade to, that top pipe you're gonna need to do. So anyways, the Sinister worked out all right. It never broke, so no problems with that. But this Banks is much bigger and more robust. I'm pretty sure I could put that one inside of this one also. These things are just absolutely gorgeous. The way these boots go over the top of the pipe flanges just right. Yep, out with the old, in with the new. All right, with that undone, pipes out of the way, we got the alternator. This thing is kind of crusty. It is 10 years old though. Yes, you can run right there. Thanks. They look about the same, except one's a lot more powerful. Of course, before I put all this stuff together, I got to string up some 2-aught cable from Sky High OFC. I don't know how much I'm going to need. I'm just going to give myself enough. See there? And this? No. This? Pretty close. Look at that. Now, don't buy this tool right here and think you're going to do car audio wires. I made a modification to it in order for it to work, and it will not work without it. It's made for some other type of wire, not this. So maybe Milwaukee will take notice and contact me. I'll tell them what I did. Maybe Milwaukee will even do a SMD edition. I know a lot of people that could use something like this. Look at that. This way, you guys review. Yep, I know some of this stuff is tedious and boring, but sometimes you gotta just get it done. It takes me even longer filming everything, but at least you guys can see what all I did. It's a nice little wire right there. It never ends. Just when I thought I was going to be able to hook my pipes up, I got more wires to do. I forgot about the battery negatives. So I'm not even so sure where they're all going to be until everything's put together. So I just have to leave them all along. So 2-aught negative going from the battery, both batteries, each one of them, over to the alternator bracket. And then from the alternator bracket, that's the entire engine ground, and on the bottom I got the engine ground going to the frame and to the amplifiers. So we got 2-aught grounds coming from the batteries to the alternator case and out to the frame grounds. Now I can put the pipes back together for now. They're not ran to the batteries yet. I got lots of extra wire, but at least I can put the truck back together. I know the last clip you saw was me climbing into the engine bay with the red pipe in my hand, and now it's done. But to be honest, it's a little bit of work. It's really tight in there. It's hard to get those pipes going, so I'm not gonna sit there and film all that stuff while I'm sitting there like trying to maneuver and trying to make it all happen. It does eventually happen, but it's a little bit of work for being right on the top and being kind of easy. But I got it. It's in there. Everything's working good. All that's done. Charging really good. Took it for a test drive. Not losing any pressure in the turbo system, and it feels great. So on to the next thing, this intake. As you can see, we got all these cables still, but I can't do any of that until the intake is done. Then I know where that's going to be. I do want to clean the bracket up. It's a little bit ugly, so we'll sand it down and reshoot it so at least it's clean. See how nasty these things are? Just a little bit of corrosion, some dirt. I mean, it is a truck, but yeah, we'll clean these up. So there's a lot more steps to this air intake than I really need to show on the internet. If for some reason you order this intake, Banks Power has the greatest install videos and PDFs that I've seen, so it's real easy to understand what to do. But I got to dig in and pull the battery box apart and take some things off and put them back on. It's real tedious, kind of just easy but time-consuming work.
So let's fix everything up a little bit.
Out with the old, in with the new. Ooh, look at that. Dang, that is nice. All right, intake's in, tubes are on, alternator's in. Now for the fun part, the power wiring, and then I'm pretty sure, other than some tuning, we're done. This fuse block is mounted with Torx screws and nylon nuts on the bottom of it, so it's mounted really nice, no wood screws or anything like that. I realize I'm fuck-soring myself by putting it there, because if I need to get to that fuse block, it's going to be hard. So I gave myself plenty of slack on these outgoing 2-aughts. That one right there has some slack too, but it's further down in. So if I need to, I can unhook these and move it out of the way. It'll suck, but I'll be able to do it at least. All the wiring is done. I'm just a couple fuses away from being finished. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be okay, but some of my wires are a little bit close to that first pipe. So we're going to bust out some second skin. I'm sure everything's going to be fine because there's lots of factory plastic stuff around that pipe, but my wires are about a 1/4 inch off of it. So just for a little extra reassurance, I'm going to put a little heat shield there. Second skin doesn't just make sound deadener. They got heat shields. They got all kinds of stuff. Still have some of this from not too long ago. It's always nice to keep couple squares around in times of need. But everything's looking good. Everything's in here. Got some heat shield in some critical areas. Did a little bit over there, did a little bit over there. Those cables are kind of close to the engine, but not quite. But I put some in there anyways, just to be double sure. Everything's nice and clean. You can see how I attach these batteries with some aluminum bars that we make. If you're wondering what's going on with my wiring, both these batteries are grounded to the frame and they're grounded to the engine. Both of these batteries are ran to the fuse block, and the alternator is also ran to the fuse block, all with 2-aught cable, OFC of course. And from here, 2 2-aughts and 1 original 1-aught from the last build that's still in great condition is ran all the way to the back. So this is my fusing. Both batteries are fused and the alternator, but actually they're all on one block and separated. So if any of those wires ever get damaged, the fuse will pop. That's what we hope for anyways. Well, we don't really hope for any of that. We hope it never has to do anything. All right, full power, 30 on the head unit, 3.4, and it starts to go into distortion a little bit after that. That's gonna distort a little bit. We're gonna back that down a little bit. I want 0.5. There we go. So 0.5. And let's go see where we're at. We got distortion at 30, 3.6. So I'm going to drop that back down a little bit. We're going to do 0.75. .8 it gave me. Okay. So let's see what we're looking at right now. All right, it's about the same on the subs as it is on the 4-channel. About 3.6 coming out with my optical in and my outputs. So 3.6 is nice and healthy. And when I'm all done with this, I'll be able to turn the head unit all the way up if I want to. You can see what happens as I turn it up and turn it down. Zero. And we're going to turn it up all the way to 30. Just peg it. Bam. 3.6. No distortion. So just got to go back and set the gains on the actual amps and then do some EQing. All right, now that we know we got a solid 3.6, zero distortion at the amplifiers, we're going to go over here to track 3. Oops, actually track 4. And set the gain. It's so sensitive. There we go. About 6 dB of overlap on the 4-channel. Now I just need to move over to the sub amp. Set that at about 10 or so. And the gains will be set and it'll be time to start EQing. .10 dB of overlap on the subs should do really well. Deck turned all the way up to 30. SMD bass knob all the way up. 10 dB of overlap. Watch what happens as I turn this knob down. You'll see. Oh, look at that. There it goes. All the way, all up, nothing. And then as you crank it all the way up, you're at your gain set position. And there we have it. The gains are set really nice. Everything is totally flat. We'll do a little EQing. I'm sure it sounds even better than ever flat. But we'll tune it up a little bit. All right, we got the mic in. And I'm tuning to the middle. So everybody's going to kind of get the same experience. But I might put a slight time delay on the driver's side just to make it a little bit better for the driver. But nothing too crazy, mostly just tuning to the middle, EQing. So as you can see, what's coming out of the system right now, and we're flat over here on this side. So we're gonna go ahead and start adjusting that out a little bit. So you can see right here between 315 and 800 needs to be brought up a little bit. But instead of bringing those up, we're gonna start cutting all these things down some. I'm gonna hit the draw function. Draw function's already on. And we're just gonna kind of bring that down. Look at that. Oh, look at that. And then the same thing over here. We're gonna go over here between 1 and 2.5. I'll bring those bitches down too. There we go. Now you don't want this thing to be perfectly flat. Once you get the super high stuff taken care of, then you want to make smaller adjustments. So this can kind of come up a little bit more. All right, that's not looking too bad. We're a little low between 5 and 630, but that's okay. I don't want to boost it up any more than I already have. I cut everything around and raise those up a couple dB, but I don't want to go too far, so let's see how this sounds. All right, let's take a listen, see how this thing is. Of course, it's always going to need slight adjustments. I'm just hoping what you hear over this mic is what I'm hearing in here, because this sounds good. They designed these mics for the kind of bass and output that we have. But let's use this song right here. It's got a lot of mid bass, just to see. Subwoofer all the way down. This is just the doors. Jack all the way up. Yep. Doors are getting it. That mid bass. I bet this mic ain't picking up what I'm hearing. All right, we good.
Yeah, ain't been so damn good. Said this rap game's been good to me.
Let's give it some bass. Oh, yeah. These copyrighted songs are gonna get me in trouble, but you know I gotta go through the whole catalog all over again. We'll do some fine listening. Let's see if anything needs to be adjusted, but for the most part, it's pretty good. Gains set, matched, crossed over, EQ'd, and this system is done. Gotta go pick mama up, let her drive it around, let her touch the knobs, let her turn everything. It's her truck. See if she likes it. The maiden voyage, everything is perfect. Hey, you a happy girl or what?
Very.
Ah, yeah. See if they're even getting warm or anything. Dude, this is not even warm at all. We've been playing the shit out of it. Bass amp's not warm either. Nice. Nothing in the world like a successful, fun build that should last a good long time. Now, yeah, thanks for joining me. And with that, I'm out of here. On to the next one. One last little cool thing I'm about to hook up. What we call this a complete wrap. Should pair up with my Derringer and my iData. This is literally supposed to be like a 10-minute job at the most. It's probably gonna take me a little longer because I'm reading the instructions. I gotta do a firmware update, so I'm glad I did read the instructions. But yeah, let's check it out, let's install it. Does that 5 or 10 minute install include the walk to the truck? Looks pretty easy. Let's see, I've already got the A-pillar pulled down with the gauge inside of it so I can get to the back of it. I'm gonna hook my wires right up to that gas pedal. Basically what you're doing is you're interrupting the gas pedal, you're teeing off. Watch how fast I put this thing in here. Plug that bad boy right there. Just like that right there. I only have one hand, so I couldn't film myself plugging it in, but it's plugged in. So before I tuck this thing up under the dash and don't ever look at it again for a long time, I just want to point out that one thing I was worried about is I have a lot of things hooked up to the OBD2 port, including my side steps, but I also have a Derringer and the iData from Banks. I wasn't sure what I was going to do about the ports. Well, lucky for me, all this stuff just kind of daisy chains. I also got the Banks exhaust and the Banks hat, so you can call me a Banks fanboy if you want. I don't care. I know good products when I see them. And most of all, I built this truck for my wife, so it has to be safe. And Banks products are all fail safe. You can literally cut the cord in half and this thing will still drive. Other brands, that ain't gonna happen. Good. Yep, it's back home. All done. Complete, clean, washed, everything.
Fuck that, I'ma sell for $9, cause I don't give no credit, and I mean
You just got done driving all the way to Sacramento for the last hour. How's it sound?
Perfect.
Is it good or what?
It's amazing.
It's been about 2 weeks since we finished this thing, and she's just been driving around enjoying it and making sure everything's working good, because I did touch a lot of things. So you always got to be careful when you touch a lot of things. But so far, so good. It sounds great. It's fast as hell now with all that Banks stuff. This build was a total success. It was a lot of fun. The wife is happy. Sounds amazing. Of course, the gains are set right. EQs are set halfway decent. Couldn't be happier right now with what is in there and the way that it sounds.
she got me singing.
Couldn't be happier right now with what is in there and the way that it sounds. With that, I'm out of here.